Hello crafties, welcome to another tutorial. My name is Infiniti and today I am here to show you guys how to knit the Indian cross stitch. So it's really pretty, and as you guys know, I'm already a cabling fanatic across all of my little crafts that I do. This stitch is really reminiscent of a cable type pattern. It also reminds me of broomstick lace in crochet. Very similar. So, without further ado, I'm going to get into the tutorial. It's very open. You could probably use this for wraps. Probably even use this for eyelets on a sweater, sleeves, I don't know, a scarf, a really fancy scarf. I don't know. I love this stitch. It's not difficult. It's really kind of maybe an intermediate pattern, definitely not for beginners. Oh Lord. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in. But before I do begin, I do want to make mention that I do wrap my stitches just a little differently than other knitters. It's how I learned how to knit, so if this confuses you in any way, I'm so sorry. Feel free to find another tutorial. Just do it in a nice way. Alright, and we're going to get started. Alright, so for starters today, you want to cast on in multiples of 8. I believe for that swatch that I had, I cast on 16 stitches. So today I've done the same for this, so I'm not going to bore you with those basics. If you have trouble, if this is your first time knitting, I do not recommend this video for you. I do have beginner tutorials back on my knitting playlist on the channel, which I will probably link at the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. Alright, so once you have your stitches cast on, rows 1 through 4 are going to be all knit. So what I'm going to do, and I'm also going to be weaving in my end as I go along because nobody likes weaving in ends. So I'm just going to knit all the way across rows 1 through 4. Okay, so now that I have my 4 rows knitted, what I'm going to do is move on to row 5, and what I want to do is knit 1. Alright, after we knit 1, what I want to do is insert my needle knitwise into the next stitch, and I'm going to wrap my yarn 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I don't want my tension too tight, I just want it even. And I'm going to pull all 4 of those loops through, knitting it just as normal. Okay? And I'm going to do that all the way across this row. So again, that is inserting my needle knitwise into the next stitch, and we're going to wrap it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to knit all of those stitches through that loop as normal. And I'm going to do this all the way across. Alright, and in the last stitch of this row, what we're going to do is just knit as normal. We're not going to be wrapping extra times. Just going to insert our hook, our needle, and we're going to knit one. Alright, now on to row 6, which is the last row of our repeat. Okay. Now, row 6 is going to be really fun. We are going to be slipping stitches. So if you guys remember back last week's knitting tutorial, I showed you guys how to slip stitches in knitting. This is where that comes in. So by default, we do it purlwise. So we just insert we're going to do it purlwise, but with our yarn to the back. So we're not going to be bringing our yarn to the front. We're just going to be inserting our needle in the front of the stitches and just sliding it off. Now, what we're going to be doing is, you can see these little bumps in between those wraps. Those are your actual knitted stitches, and we're just going to slide those stitches off with the wraps. So what you're going to do is insert your needle purlwise through that very pronounced loop right there, and you're just going to slide it off, and it comes off with all of your wraps. Okay, so we're just going to do that for 8 stitches. 2. So now we have a total of 8 stitches slipped. I'm sorry, we have a total of 3 stitches slipped. There's 4. There's 5. 6. 7. And we're going to come in and get that 8th one right there. Okay? Now here's where the fun begins. What we want to do is we want to look at this needle where we just slipped off all these stitches, and we want to straighten them out, making sure they're in their proper order. Okay? And what we want to do is take our working needle, our non-working needle, and we're going to slide it under those first 4 stitches that we slipped. And we're just going to bring those other 4 down and through those loops, just like so, and kind of straighten them out. And we're going to be sliding these stitches back on our non-working needle, just like so. And when you do that, you have this cross. Now what we're going to do is pick up our working yarn again, and we're just going to knit those 8 stitches as normal. One, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, we're going to go and get those other 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and this is what we have. And so you can see that this creates a cross, basically, of stitches. Now, people do this in many variations. I chose to do it in 8 stitches today, but you can very well do it in 6, or you can do it in 4, you can do it in any increment you'd like. So now what I'm going to do is repeat this process for my other 8 stitches. So we're going to be slipping these last 8 stitches, or if you're doing a bigger project, you can slip if you're doing a bigger project, you're going to be slipping the next 8 stitches. 3, 4, 5. Alright. So now, we have those 8 stitches on our working needle. We're going to take this empty needle now and we are going to slip it under those first 4 stitches that we slipped. And then we're going to take our yarn on our working needle and we're going to just slide those 4 stitches underneath the ones on our non-working needle, like so. And that creates this X look. I'm glad it looks better in this shot. And we're just going to slide those stitches back on to our non-working needle, like so. And then we're going to proceed to knit them in the new order. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Alright, and this is row 6. So now, once you've completed row 6, the pattern starts over and the next 4 rows are going to be knit. So I'm going to do that and I'll meet you guys back when I get done. Alright, and I'm finishing up my last stitch on my 4th row of knit and I'm going to turn my work. So this is actually the back side, so I'm going to go back to the front side where it looks a little better. And that's the fun thing about this stitch, is that one side clearly looks better than the other side. Exhibit A, this one's a little, like, on the back side it's a little messier, the loops are, and this all comes into play with like tension and stuff like that. That's why you want to make sure that when you're wrapping your yarn that you're doing it about even tension. This side was more successful than this side, obviously, but when you turn it on the front, they both look perfect. So this has been the Indian cross stitch, and of course from here you would start over with row 5, which is knitting 1 and then inserting your needle knitwise and wrapping 4, pulling through, and then you'd go on to repeat row 6. And if you keep working up the pattern, you get rows like this one. So I hope today's tutorial was helpful for you guys. If so, don't forget to leave me a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment below, letting me know how I did, or if you have any suggestions for future videos. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on awesome weekly content like this. I upload knitting tutorials every Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. CST. Also, don't forget to check out my other cool social media pages where I post updates. Some social media platforms get early updates for blogs and free patterns, sales, and things like that. Don't forget to check out my Etsy page. It's full of cool, just cool knitting crochet patterns. Huh, I was talking fast. Right now I'm holding a sale for 20% off. No code, I'm sorry, 15% off, no code needed. And my merch shop, I am holding a sale for 20% off. So until next time, guys, happy making.